Welcome to the Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm wearing green, although it kind of looks brown. This is green. I promise you, this is green. Don't want to get pinched. Flynn Ferguson, how about that for an Irish name right there, huh? So here, cheers to all of you all who are practicing the wearing of the green and St. Patrick's Day. This is to my grandmother, Edna Finley, who was born in 1900. Can you believe that? If she were alive now, she'd be 122. That's my goal, by the way. It's so good to see everyone, by the way. Thank you for showing up today. I think we've got a pretty fun show for you. Catherine's in the house, of course, Flynn, Jocelyn. I see Kathy and Christina. Christina, nice to have you. Nancy's here. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun day. This whole week, we've been talking about self-belief. And I believe this is one of those things you need to drop into your brain about your can-do-ness. Because if you believe you can, then you can. I mean, remember that quote, right? We're going to be talking about that today. Hey, Nancy. Cheers, by the way. I see you. Anne, Jeanette. Good to have you here, Diane. It's going to be a fun day. It is going to be a fun day. Our quote of the week, of course, Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. I've used this all week long as my journal prompt. It helps. These quotes do stir the pot. And if you allow them to stir the pot and help you to start thinking, the next thing you know, you're going to start getting really good at this whole journaling idea. We need these things to drop in. There's a lot of great minds out there, and we can collaboratively think about things when we do this. So I love Nelson Mandela. And that's what a fabulous quote. And how is everyone's sprint going? Pinkies up if you're on day 4. Yeah, we are. We're on day 4. If you want to jump in, it is always available to you. savingdinner.com/sprint. It is free. The sprint webinar has a bunch of new information. Strongly recommend you watch it. That's number 1. And number 2, the guide is there for you to download and to print off and to have. Hey there, Darla. Glad you're here. Mary Ann, Helen, all in the house. And of course, our girl Ann and Jeanette. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we are sprinting. And don't you always feel so good when you sprint? Huh? Hi, Autumn. I do. I feel like a new woman when I sprint. It's that reset. It's being just, a little more strict with ourselves. Even though most of us have like this foundational principle of using sprint principles for the way that we conduct our lives, it just does make a difference. Now tonight, speaking of sprints, I'm going to talk to you tonight about the Hot Melt 30. That webinar starts tonight at 7 p.m. Okay, it starts, but the Hot Melt 30 itself starts on April 1st. Okay, it starts on April 1st. Tonight, I'm going to give you the informational down low on what this is all about. And you know why I really like the Hot Melt 30? Because it's the next level of the Hot Melt Sprint. It's not just 7 days. It's more of a commitment, and it's more of getting you to that place that you want to go. It's understanding that this is more of a lifestyle thing. This is intuitive eating. This is a different mindset. This is becoming the woman of your dreams. That's what this is. So hello, Carol and Jocelyn and Alice and Terry. It's going to be fun. Sign up even if you can't make it tonight because you'll get the replay. So go to savingdinner.com/30. Spell that out, THIRTY, so that you can get your seat, because you can't just pop in there. This is the certain platform that we use is Crowdcast. Requires that you put your name and email address in there so we can email you the link, etc. That's just how it works. So do that. I'd also like to put your attention to On Thursday, another Thursday, on the 31st of this month, we have an all new gut health webinar. And that is all, I'm calling it Gut Punch because there's so much information there that's going to help you to understand how exquisitely important your gut is. If we can get you to a healthy gut, boy, things start to really dissipate. And I'm talking about people with autoimmune diseases. I'm talking about just your overall energy level. I'm talking about, do you feel vibrant or not? All right. That's what I'm talking about. Carol, you are so welcome. We love you. You know that. And we all have been praying for you. I sent Carol a card on our behalf. And of course, we all are sending condolences and best wishes for her as she is grieving the loss of her husband. You know, life is short. Let's live it vibrantly. What do you say to that? Let's live it vibrantly. You know what, Jane? Look at her. She said she's ditching part of a committee meeting so she can be there tonight. Wow, that's so cool. That is so cool. Good for you, because I think you're really going to enjoy tonight. You know, it's a really short presentation, but I opened the floor up for a lot of questions. It's all based on research, and it's really going to help you to see bigger picture past, you know, how do I make the hot milk fill in the blank, or what do I do next, or when do I take my, you know, drink my hot milk mix, that kind of thing. Takes us past this idea of just a plan and into this idea that our vibrant lives are waiting for us. And this is how we fuel them, heart, mind, body, and soul. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, really excited for tonight, excited for the 31st, because this whole idea of gut health, brand new research that I think is going to just floor you. Also, we have 2 full bloom events coming up. The first one, now is the time to get registered. The door is open, y'all. If you follow this link, go to savingdinner.com/bloom. You can do that right now. Open up another tab and go get your seat. Here's the deal. It's a virtual event. You're going to get the swag bag of your dreams. I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what it is, but let me just tell you, we've been working very diligently in the background to make this whole thing happen. And we couldn't be more thrilled about what we have to offer this time. And it's about making magic in your life. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Doesn't that just give you the high vibes about making magic in your life? Because this is the key to your purpose. This is also the key to your vibrancy. Years ago, and I can't remember the guy's name now, Arthur something, but he had a quote that said, science is what they used to call magic. You know, the reticular activating system, you're going to hear all this woo-woo stuff about manifestation and all this other kind of stuff. And you're going, yeah, no, not in my book. It's just the reticular activating system. That's all. It's awareness. That's it. That's how these things happen. It's not that we've got all this ooga booga weirdness happening. It's just that this is how it works. This is how God made us. And I find that exquisitely exciting. And this is what we're going to be all about, that whole event on Saturday, April 23rd. Go to savingdinner.com/bloom. Get it together. Go get your seat now, because it's going to be quite an experience. It is all day. And guess what? We have the whole thing is recorded, and the whole thing belongs to you after the event. Just like that. Just like that. You'll have it forever, ever, amen. So you can do timestamps of whatever it is that you want so that you can go back and watch something again. You can ask questions throughout. You get an incredible swag bag, like I said, and you also get special deals for attendees. So this is an event not to be missed. We have so many people who've been to our live events. So this is something that you're going to want to definitely want to be a part of. And then on July the 29th, we're at it again. Now, all I want you to do is mark your calendar for this one. We do not have a page for that yet. We will shortly. But just mark your calendar and start making reservations. Get your flight if you need to. We fly into Asheville Airport if you want, or Charlotte Douglas in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Greenville, South Carolina Airport. Those are the closest airports to us. So you see there's some choices there. And whoa, can I tell you, it's going to be excited. Jenny on the block is going to be there. So am I. And our Amber's not going to be able to be there. Maybe she will be. We'll just see. But at least Jenny and I will be there. And of course, Mark. So it's going to be in Lincoln. Lincoln will be at the helm when we do the Good Ship Wantesca, Wanda on the Wantesca, Lake Wantesca. It's just going to be off the hook. I can't even contain myself. So check that out. Also, our multivitamin is our supplement of the week, right? Supplement of the week. That means if you buy 3, you're going to get that 4th one absolutely free. We always put our supplement of the week at savingdinner.com/show. Go ahead and get that. savingdinner.com/show. Take advantage of this deal. It really is a screaming deal. This is a proprietary formula, by the way. This is not some white label nonsense that we just slapped a label on. This is ours. So go ahead and take a peek-see at that. It's really good for the whole family. A lot of people love this supplement. Mark takes it religiously. So there it is. Yes, get your flight reservations made. And by the way, helpful hint, you can look on Kayak, but also look on some of the sites. Allegiant flies direct from a number of cities into the Asheville airport. So take a peek-see at that, because if you can get an Allegiant flight, they're really inexpensive. And there's ways to, keep them inexpensive. I'll talk to you later about that as we get closer. So that's what we have going on. And also, we haven't done it yet, but it will be coming. And that's our text messages. We have a text message every week with extraordinary deals you will find nowhere else. Not only that, but they're fun. And it's just part of our little community. All you have to do to get our text messages, and I promise we don't spam you, we don't annoy you, we just give you 1 a week. Occasionally 2 go out a week, but it's not all the time. All you have to do is text the word join, all in caps, to this phone number, 855-960-3720. And then you're going to get a text message back. To that text message, you have to reply the word yes to get your subscription started. Okay? And it's free. You're going to thank me for it. Book it, Jane. That's right. Book it, Jane. We want you there. And who wants to volunteer to hold a baby? That would be me. I will hold the baby. I don't care if I'm talking. I did a La Leche League. I remember one time I did a La Leche League. I was a keynote speaker at a La Leche League meeting, and I had hundreds of women in there. This woman could not console her baby, kept getting down and coming up and to me. So I just picked the baby up, put the baby on my hip, and then finished my talk. I'm good with babies. I love babies. Bring the baby, Amber. Bring that baby. We're all about it. Listen, we've got Izzy holders around here. Are you kidding? We're going to be going crazy over that baby. And the last thing is all the casino orders are out. The last ones just went out. We were waiting for the fiber mender to finally get in, and it did, and they all went out. So if you have a question about any of your casino orders, do send it in to support@savingdinner.com and just say, question about my order. That's all you have to do, and we will take care of it. Okay? I just want you to know one thing, and I'm asking you as a wise woman to wise woman, can you please do your customer service requests via our customer service channel, which is an email to support@savingdinner.com. When you do it on our, in the comments, doesn't help. We might miss it. If you do it in, over on Facebook, also, that's not the proper channel. That's how we get things done, and we can do it quickly when we do the proper channel. So I'm just asking that, woman to woman. Help me with that. Help me. All right. Lots of loving arms. Are you kidding me? We have arms for days. And plus, Mark, can I tell you? Mark's just absolutely bonkers about babies. And they love him. He's hypnotic with a baby. So you've got it, sister. We will take care of you. All right. We are talking this whole week about self-belief, which is such a funny topic. As I dove into this, I found, my jaw was dropping. Seriously, my jaw was dropping because I couldn't believe the amount of information that is out there that shows us that our self-beliefs are actually running the whole our whole lives, really. But you want to hear something? This is the jaw dropper. Most of us don't even know and have little idea what ignites our daily behaviors, which is the thing that is caused by our beliefs. So our self-beliefs are very much evident based on our daily behavior, and yet we don't even know what it is that's driving it. Isn't that bizarre? It's true, though. And our motives for doing what we are doing are acutely based on all this self-belief stuff. Absolutely, 100%. You don't go against your self-belief. Where we get out of alignment, where the alignment assignment just goes off the rails and falls down, is when we are out of alignment with what we're saying and what we're doing. That's what it is. But our belief system is intrinsically based on what it is that we're doing and vice versa. We do what we believe. We go to a certain church because that's what we believe. We vote a certain way because that is what we believe, right? We eat a certain way because that is what we believe. We have relationships. It's all influenced by our behavior, what we do, and what our beliefs are. What we do, how we do it, and even into how we see the results with what we're doing. So, the efforts that we're making at work or with our goals or whatever are very much attached to the self-belief. And now hold on there with me. I'm going to get you in there so we can do it. Okay? So you can get the scoop. All of these things, by the way, these three things, especially what we do, how we do it, and how we see our results. How we see our results, in other words, the evaluation that we're making about our results. Those are powerful self-beliefs, and we have created them, and we have created our career paths, our relationships, like I was talking about earlier, and ultimately what we want in our lives by these belief systems. Yet we can't name what they are. I think that's so bizarre. So according to the research, there are 4 major self-beliefs. Kathy Bales, our first full bloom attendee. I love it. Kathy, see, she gets the crown. Who's going to be next? Who is going to be next? I love it. I told her to open another tab and she did. Yay, Kathy, you win. All right. So according to the research, this is what it is. Number 1, there are 4 major beliefs, and number 1 is control. Control. And that makes sense, right? Do we think we have control over our own destiny, or do we think it's just fate? It's our luck. It's our chance. It's the luck of the draw. It's genetics that we have no control over. What do we think about that? Well, we know that the harder we work toward that goal, how much easier it is that it suddenly appears. Is that fate, or is that hard work? I mean, I guess we could argue semantics for a long time, but no, I'm, not going to go there. We also know that genetics load the gun, but lifestyle and your diet are the thing that pulls the trigger. We know that too. So where are we going to go? What, do we have any control? We don't have control over the genetics. We do have control over pulling the trigger, though. So this is an interesting conundrum, and it is what we believe that is going to, in the final analysis, create the life that we are living, right? And studies show that those who ascribe to the notion that they have no control over their health, they say it's in my genes, their work, well, the market is so terrible, there's no way that I can make a living doing XYZ, which is really what I would choose to do, or anything else, or the future, I have bad luck, right? We will not seek challenges, and we will avoid goals and settle for the status quo. Makes me sad. I'm reading a book right now that is talking all about, it's Drop Acid, and it's talking about just how the influence of our body's chemistry and how what we eat and the stress values and everything. Of course, I mean, this is, I've talked about this for a long time, how this all influences. But what's so interesting about this is that how we just step back and allow whatever to just run us over with a steamroller, like this whole idea. If you go to like the diabetes, website, They basically say if you have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, that's it. You're wrecked for life, and it's just going to be a progressively worse disease. And yet there's been studies that show that there are ways to interrupt that, pattern interrupt. I prefer to look for that kind of information, don't you? I prefer to look to nutrition information from somebody other than a doctor who's only had, 20 hours of of nutrition information in school. Isn't it interesting how we deify almost certain professionals like doctors, and we, poo-poo this other stuff that's out there and say, oh, that's just all part of the quackery that's out there, etc. And I just tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, that the way that we seek challenges and the way that we seek our goals is telling to exactly what our self-beliefs are, whether or not we're just going to go with the flow and allow whatever comes our way, or we're going to fight for the position that we want in this world. That's how huge that is. And that defines what our lives are going to look like. Absolutely. So I love this, because if you want to be a purposeful human being on this planet, then you need to start designing your own life and not just roll over and say, well, it's just, and fill in that blank. That's a self-belief. There you go. Look at that. Lucy's here to tell you. She says, wrong, wrong, wrong. I got healthy and got off insulin. Hello. Now that's not progressing diabetes type 2, is it? No, it's not. But if you go to the diabetic website, it's going to really bring you down. I promise you. Number 2 is competency. Remember Henry Ford's famous quote, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That's competency right there. Because competency highly influences our behavior. We won't even attempt something if we think we can't do it. Oh, well, right? I can't even tell you how many people have started and then dropped, like the hot milk sprint, haven't even gotten through the whole 7 days. 7 days. Haven't done it. Haven't even considered doing it. Because they didn't think they could. It's too hard to give up my creamer for my coffee. It's too hard, or I'm on the struggle bus or whatever. It's the competency of what they think they can do is this big. And that breaks my heart. And if you're here and you don't think that you're able to accomplish that, then you're going to reinforce that every time with your behavior. And that's a self-belief gone wrong. Because if you are fearfully and wonderfully made for purpose and on purpose, then it doesn't jive. It doesn't jive with God's ultimate plan for your life. Why would he put you here otherwise? Huh? And the interesting thing is that's on the macro level, like, hitting a goal and determining a relationship, to the micro level, like writing a letter, or get this, I'll tell you a story, copy and paste. My mother, for years, she kept saying, I can't do this. I can't do that. Whatever. All of that technology, that's way over my head. And there's a lot of older people who will do this. And I hate to say it, but people in my same age category who will do this. And, the conquest of the copy and paste never happened in her life. Every once in a while she would hit it, but I wrote it out for her. I did it all in bold. I taped it to her bloody computer. And don't you know, she would call me and she'd say, Leanne, can you help me? How do I copy and paste again? Okay, Mom. And I'd walk her through it over and over and over again. And it wasn't that my mother was thick or incompetent or, stupid or whatever. It was the belief she had in her ability to be able to do this technical thing, which is, of course, very, we of course endlessly teased her about it in a loving way. But these competency assessments influence our self-belief. If we think we can, then we are not going to make it happen. If we think that we can't progress off a broken relationship, for example, or we can't progress off of something losing a job or a financial ruin or whatever, if we think that that's the end of it, it is. Because that's what we have basically hooked our wagons up to, our self-belief wagons. It's crazy. So where are you on that? Are you willing to let go of some of these I can'ts and maybe look at, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this and stop saying it's just beyond what I can do? Don't be like my mom, which, she was the copy and paste I can't queen. And it is a skill. Yeah, it is a skill, but it's a quick skill and it's easy to learn. And you do have the capability to be able to do it. Just saying. Number 3 is value. When we ascribe low value with different tasks, we give very little effort to them, right? Isn't that the truth? And versus when we ascribe high value, we give it our all, a much bigger effort. So research shows that low value is one of the reasons that things go a little bit, shall we say, morally disengaged. In other words, people who look at and say, well, it's time to pay taxes. Well, maybe I blah, 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 blah. Maybe I had a little extra this or that. Or there are businesses that will have 2 sets of books so that they can, maybe have their taxes come out a little more favorably. And you know what all this is? This is ascribing a low vibe self-belief that you're above having to do what everybody else does, and that we value our tasks in different ways. And for those of us with a higher moral code, we're not going to do that, of course. But isn't it interesting how this kind of low vibe stuff can go all the way down into extraordinary low vibe stuff and into the place of illegal activity, actually. Thinking, just this one won't matter. Or you get a donation receipt from, the Salvation Army and you just fill it out with random stuff that didn't happen. That's what this kind of value is. That's what it's all about. Number 4 is goal orientation. So I'd say that this is sometimes always in the eye of the beholder, right? Knowledge isn't pursued for oneself, but in the pursuit of looking good, right? Playing the part, not being the part. This is fake it till you make it, not be it till you see it. And also it's performing for an audience, will they think I'm successful? Here I am, pull up in my sports car with all my fancy duds and designer purse and everything, putting on a show and giving the appearance of all of this stuff, where others with a greater self-belief will pursue this task. And instead of putting on the show, they want to consume the knowledge so that they can become knowledgeable, so that they can ask for help without this thing of looking foolish. Because oftentimes what will happen is there's folks out there who just won't ask for help. They'd rather risk doing it wrong and faking their way through than asking for help, because they don't want to look weak, or they don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing. And what happens is there's a lot of people too who, when they've made a decision that they're not doing this for everyone else, but doing it for themselves, they're willing to go outside of the box. They're willing to say, this medical intervention isn't working for me. I'm not getting any results. I'm not going to sit here and keep knocking my head against the wall. I'm going to look alternatively. I'm going to look at some herbs or an acupuncturist, or I'm going to go do something woo-woo and weird, because I am open to this knowledge. I am open to this. That's a self-belief that says we are bigger than our little tiny brains are, and we all have tiny brains in relation to the entire world, don't we? Our worlds are so much bigger than we think. We can think a little more globally when we're a little more willing. Albert Bandura, who is a psychologist, says that self-beliefs are also fueled by mastery, and how well or not we master something, how our experiences and what we've experienced. And of course, that's going to really color the way we think about things. Our social persuasion, there are churches where they separate men from women because they believe that that's part of the social persuasion, and head coverings and not wearing skirts and all of that kind of stuff. That's all part of it. That's part of a social constraint and a social construct. Religious, yes, but also social. There's a social thing going on with that. And even our emotions and how those resonate. Now, here's something that I can't wait to talk about. But Tony Robbins says emotions directly influence our focus, and focus is chosen based on self-belief. There's a lot to unpack on that. That's going to be part of our Making Magic for Full Bloom, because the stuff that I'm learning about this stuff, and I'm just dropping a hint here for you to start thinking about that and rolling it around in your mind, will blow you away. And it's going to really change the way you start thinking. I promise you. Because when I read this, my jaw went, and I'm just dropping it there. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because I want you there at Full Bloom. It's coming. savingdinner.com/bloom to go get yourself signed up for it and join Kathy as our first attendee. It's going to be something, it's worth more than the price of admission, with just the swag bag and all the other goodies that go with it. It's going to be quite a day. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you're finding this series on self-beliefs helpful. It's over now. We have Q&A for tomorrow, which will be recorded, by the way, because I will be flying in the sky in a little tube with wings. Pinkies up. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink too much green beer. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.